Chapter 8 Uranium 2.0. After the marathon round-trip flight from Sweden to Greece, the seaplane came into land on the airstrip at the Lake Torntrask complex. It jittered and hopped, twisted and turned in the air as it neared the ground, catching updrafts and crosswinds. The extra fuel tanks were of no more assistance now; they were empty and dampening the ride. Taxiing to a stop outside the control building, the flight officers got out of the plane and carefully carried the 2 kilograms of sample material directly indoors, where a team of scientists waited for them. There were many tests to be carried out. From his eyrie-like office, Dr. Marlberg observed the plane land and the doors open. His vintage brass telescope provided perfect clarity, though it wasn't the only tool at his disposal. He could simply have used the perfectly clear, albeit monochrome, closed-circuit TV system, developed by a propaganda division of the Ahnenerbe to better spread the message of German National Socialism. But the romanticism of the brass, optically ruined tube was often too much for him to deny. However, when the activity became more of a frenzy, he returned to his desk and switched on the bank of screens. The connected network of cameras that had been installed as soon as the technology had been made available. The risks facing the Lake Torntrask complex were many, and to be able to review security so constantly was a compelling reason for no one to step out of line. Without looking up from the bank of screens, Dr. Marlberg simply raised his voice. "Heinrich, are you there?" Heinrich was always there. Even when he needed some privacy, he was still there. "Yes, Dr. Marlberg, I am here." "Excellent. Can you please prepare the laboratory? I have to start work on the new substance as soon as is practicable." Heinrich paused for a second before responding. Dr. Marlberg rarely got his hands dirty anymore. This substance must be terribly important for him to be directly working on it. "Yes, sir, of course. You're going to carry out the experiments yourself?" It was Dr. Marlberg's turn to pause, and for dramatic effect he twisted in his seat, adding impact to his response. "Yes, Heinrich, I have a feeling about this substance. I want to ensure I see everything firsthand." Looking at his normally aloof superior, Heinrich could see genuine anticipation on his face. "Yes, doctor, I understand. Would you like me to assist you, sir?" "Of course, Heinrich, of course. We can make these discoveries together." An hour later, Heinrich joined Dr. Marlberg in an underground physics lab. In total, there were 6 of these ruggedized laboratories organized around a central small cyclotron accelerator. Each laboratory was physically, chemically and electrically isolated from one another and its general surroundings, and were accessed by a network of stairs. The stairs looked unnecessarily convoluted, but the twists and turns ensured that in the event of an unwanted explosion, any massive movement of air would be baffled, allowing the air to find a far less obstructed passage to the outside through simple ducts. Once inside a laboratory, the cyclotron could be accessed from a side room that housed a heavily shielded chamber where samples could be placed for interaction with the accelerated particle streams. Throughout each laboratory, desks, benches and stools were plentiful to enable workers to use the equally plentiful measurement devices, scopes and meters to catalog and record any changes in the tested materials. Tonight, however, there would be only Dr. Marlberg and Heinrich to witness what happened when the mysterious Greek substance was introduced into a particle accelerator. Looking at his assistants, Dr. Marlberg said the fateful words. "Right then, Heinrich, shall we begin?"